much for tuning in to Flying Chariots The Rise. I get to co-host today with my dear pal Dustin from Wisconsin. Dustin, how are you?
Good. I'm super excited for today because we got Brogan back for the second time. Can you believe it? And this girl is funny as shit. Let me tell you, for the people who don't know Brogan, this girl has the craziest funny bone. And the fact that she was born and raised in Belleville, where that's like one of the hot spots in Wisconsin for having the UFOs. And we have some wild stories from there. And Brogan has her own personal stories too. So, hey, Brogan, I haven't seen you in a while. What's new in your life since I've seen you last?
I know it's been a bit, man. I got a dog. I got a black lab. His name is Hank. Call him my little Hanky Panky.
Nice.
He's about 3 years old. He's such a good boy. So we rescued him. So glad that we have him. But other than that, not a whole lot else is new. Just working my little life away and kicking ass and taking names, man, every day.
So that's how
That's
we
the way
do.
to do it. Yeah,
That's how we roll.
yes, yeah. You are in a hot spot. You've had experience yourself. I know you shared it before on the last show, but maybe at some point you can go over that little story again too, because there is something about those fields of Wisconsin.
Absolutely. There really are. There really are. It's kind of creepy. Like, I remember being like, not even in high school, like younger than that, I would go over to play at one of my friends' houses, and we'd always just go play in the cornfields, or we'd go play. Sometimes we'd play in the cow pastures barefoot just because we like to squish shit in between our toes, which I was a child. Okay. I was a child. But we would go in the cornfields, and we would like play hide and seek in the cornfields. And, you kind of, you get these eerie, weird feelings when you're alone in a cornfield. I don't know. There's just something about cornfields. I swear, man.
Yeah,
When you're in them, you can't see shit out. It's just, but yeah, we'll get into that a little later.
Awesome.
So, with your personal experience, what did you see that one crazy night the first time that you're like, that is something unexplained? And then knowing my town has some shit and a history of seeing UFOs.
So the night I was coming home, I think it was like a farm party, but I was coming home from this farm party, and I was driving, not a care in the world, not an absolute care in the world. I was in high school, coming home from a farm party, and all of a sudden this bright light, this like whitish, super bright light, like almost orb, but it wasn't a circular orb. Like, it was more of a starburst type, like just the light was so bright, it came whizzing up to my windshield, like faster than I've seen anything move in my entire life. Sat there for maybe 3 seconds, and then it whizzed away as fast as humanly possible. I've never seen anything move that fast in my life. I felt like something or someone was keeping an eye on me, or like checking in on me or something like that. But that was one experience where it was just that bright white light that was just completely unexplainable, that was here right in front of my face as I was traveling in my car at 60 miles an hour, or probably 75 if you know me. It was, right in front of my windshield as I was driving, keeping up with me. And then all of a sudden it was just gone. So it's like, whatever or whoever it was came up just to say hi or check on me, and then gone. And it was completely, I was flabbergasted. My jaw dropped to the floor, and my buddy that was passed out next to me in the passenger seat, I elbow him really quick. He didn't believe it. Fine.
Oh no.
But there was another instance out at a farm party. We were in the cornfield. So every once in a while, my buddies would go out to their cornfield, like in the middle of the field, and clear out a space with their, whatever, a combine or whatever. They're flatten out a space. and we'd put two trucks together and play beer pong.
Oh, cool.
And we were playing beer pong out at this guy's farm one night, and I had to go pee. And where do you go pee at a farm party? In the cornyard or the cornfield? Go out farther into the cornfield, right? So I go out into the cornfield and I pop a squat, do my business, and then I look up. I'm still squatting, right? And I look up, and there was a triangular, very pointy, like very sharp flying object above
Yeah.
my head.
Oh, shit.
But it was like so far. I don't know if this is going to make sense. It looked like it was so far away, but so close at the same time.
Was it more of a silhouette?
Yes. But it was like I said, it was like a triangle type thing, but it was like boxy, like I don't know how to explain it exactly.
Sure.
But it was hanging over my head for, a minute, and then it kind of hovered, like went kind of slow for a little bit, and then it went straight up.
Oh.
So like it kept flat, like flat to the ground.
Sure.
And it just shot straight back up.
Like an elevator.
Was that after the first experience you had? You think maybe they were checking in on you again? Like,
I think so. Yeah, honestly, I really
like
think
this is a good time. She's peeing. Let's go check on her.
Those perverts.
Whatever. They wanted to see what I was working with, and I think they got their fair peek, and maybe if I get another visit, they liked what they saw. Who knows?
There you go.
That is hilarious.
But of course, I went back to the party to tell my friends, and everybody, you've had too much to drink tonight. You're drunk. Go home.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's bogus. That sucks.
But if you haven't seen anything before, it's hard to make somebody else believe that you saw something that sounds out of this world, literally.
Right.
Well,
sorry, Heidi.
No, you're good. I was going to say, like the legendary story of Bellevue, where you were, like, is that just talked about in town? Like, oh, maybe that happened, maybe it didn't, or did the farm kids, having the party kids and the farm, did any of them believe other than you?
Yes.
Maybe didn't believe in you in that moment, but do they? Is it the talk of the town, or are people like, oh, that's just a story that the grandparents say?
Well, so Belleville is considered like one of the UFO capitals of the world, because we've had so many sightings in Belleville. There have been so many people that have witnessed something, or someone or something that's literally out of this world, that's unexplainable. And there have been so many sightings and so many instances that they named it one of the UFO capitals of the world. And we even have UFO days in Belleville. We have a parade. There's a little carnival. Like all the kids dress up like aliens, and it's usually around Halloween. But yeah, we have our own UFO days, and it's really fun, and it's very hometowny. I don't want to say it's towny, but it's very hometowny.
Yes. No, I love that the fact that this town has the yearly UFO parades. I have actually one of the old pins from I think this is late 70s.
Oh my God.
That I got from Belleville.
Yes.
Stop it.
I collect a lot of UFO memorabilia, especially here in Wisconsin. I try to collect.
Yeah.
So I got this in an auction. And then I have other ones from other towns. We have Elmwood.
That's with the pancake guy, right? The guy with the fort?
That's Eagle River.
Eagle River. Okay.
Josh Simonton.
Hold on, the pancake guy?
Yeah.
So you never heard the story?
No.
Elmwood.
I gotta tell it.
You gotta tell that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, check this one. This Elmwood one is from. What is this one from? Oh, 1980s. This is the
75th anniversary.
Yeah, 75th anniversary. This is from 1980. So like what? Like, what?
Jeez.
How
It
old is
looks like
that shit?
somebody bled all over it.
Yeah, right. An alien snagged somebody and like blood splattered over it.
They were wearing their
Someone's on the
UFO.
rag.
They were wearing their UFO 75th pin, and the UFO came down and just, I want a little snack.
I'm
So yeah,
looking at where Belleville is. Yeah, man. So
it's
you're
not
not
far from
far
Madison.
from Madison.
No.
You know from
Right.
Blanchardville. Is it by Blanchardville? Is that
So
Blanchardville?
Blanchardville
Part of Idaho?
is,
My
I
sister
want to
was
say
there for a while.
from Belleville, it's like maybe 35 minutes.
Oh,
Oh,
that's not far.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not too
she used
bad.
to be out there in the farms. She was out
Yes.
there. Yeah. But tell her the pancake story,
Oh,
Dustin.
I'm
It's
gonna
such a
tell
good
the Panks. Oh, I love telling the Panks story. Panks. I can't talk.
story.
So this happened back in 1961 with Joe Simonton, and he was just happened to be in his kitchen at his house in the middle of the woods. And he was eating breakfast, and he happened to look out his window, and just out of nowhere comes this gray silverish flying saucer coming down like an elevator and lands in front of his house right in his driveway. He runs out and he sees his door opens and he sees a human man that looks like an Italian man because he had like olive skin, was wearing a
Yeah.
tight blue jumpsuit, and he was about 5 foot tall and he had very penetrating eyes. Like he was just staring into his soul. And this guy had like an empty jug and he's just motioning for water or something to drink. And Joe's like, you want water? And there's no words being exchanged. And he's just getting more confused. And he's just grabs a jug from him, grabs some water from inside, comes back out. And he takes a peek inside the craft and he sees there's two other guys just like him dressed in a blue tight jumpsuit. And they're over this flat flameless grill type thing. And they were cooking like these little wafer pancake things. He's like, what is
Oh,
that? So
I
for
do
the
remember you
exchange,
telling that story.
yeah, for the
Oh
exchange
my
of
God.
water, he gets like four of these pancakes, but he's still trying to get a conversation from these guys.
Yeah.
And then no one's talking. So this guy hops back into the UFO and it just goes up in like in an elevator and it shoots like a bullet from a gun. And
Did he grow another dick from eating the alien pancakes?
I think he
I
might
hope.
have.
Or like his dick grew like 3 sizes.
Yeah,
All of a
right.
sudden he can't walk right or ride a bike.
Well, this is Joe,
Oh, there he is.
and he's holding up one of the pancakes that he received from one of the ETs. So he had four of them, and he took a bite of one of them, and he said it tasted like a piece of cardboard. And then he told this to authorities. He called the authorities, and other people apparently are in the area reported a UFO in the sky to the authorities. And he had this thing tested by scientists. Here's a colored photograph of one of them. And they found out that there are regular buckwheat pancakes, but did not have any trace of salt. And that is impossible because everything organic on Earth has a trace of salt because of the oceans.
Yes.
So,
wow.
Does it mean like other things off planet could grow? Say, like, we're always looking for water and trees on other planets. Why couldn't like other things grow like buckwheat or anything else, but didn't have other elements on that planet? Like maybe salt is very rare or not, non-existent. But no, it just makes it sound as more out of this world. The fact that something physical came down and talked to him. This Joe wrote a book about his experience. People call him a nut. He's a loony, and he just made these pancakes and made this crazy story. But it's just like it doesn't make sense to me, and it just sounds very familiar to me. Like the exchange of water for this like wafer thing. It's
Yeah.
like, where the hell did communion come from?
Oh,
Yes.
Huh?
Oh,
Where did that
damn.
shit come? Huh? So
yes.
even back then, if it
Yes.
happened to Jesus and who the hell, they're like, damn, they didn't have the vocabulary to explain what the hell they were experiencing.
Right.
But it just makes you
That's
wonder.
so cool.
Just
Well,
all
and
this
it's like
ties.
if it did come from a planet with, let's just say, no water, no salt, like that.
Right.
Plants, like there are plants that can grow with different, I don't know, like can you, is there a thing called like aeroponics? Not hydroponic, like aeroponics?
Heidi, you might know. Come on.
Ugh, ugh.
Where's your plant skills?
I smoke flower. I don't grow it.
Yes, girl. Yes. Yes.
No, it's got to be hydroponics, right? I don't. You mean like in the air?
Yeah.
What are those tubes that you can buy? You buy these tubes and you can grow leafy
Oh, yeah, you're
vegetables
right.
out of them. I've seen
That's
that.
right.
And that's like in apartments and stuff. So they don't have the,
Yeah.
but you can do anything. I had an ex that grew everything, grew flower in our apartment in Chicago. But he used a little tent and it was still
Yeah.
lights and hydroponic. So I don't, good question.
You know, I
Well,
think
I
astronauts
wonder.
are growing seaweed out in space. So I don't know if it's like
Oh,
irrigation they can make, like artificial irrigation to grow. Kind of like
I don't know.
there's an ancient story about the Jews wandering the desert, and they had this machine called I don't know, the Wonder Machine, where it made nana. It's kind of like a just like seaweed, kind of like a organism type thing.
Oh,
Okay.
So there's a story where this extraterrestrial or God gave him this machine. That's why on the seventh day they clean this thing. They don't do anything, like their
no
rule
way.
of
I
like
was,
not using technology. So it's the
huh.
seventh day of cleaning this machine because it needs cleaning to operate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I guess some like scientists took some of the holy scriptures and made the version of it of from the scriptures of what this
Wow.
nanomachine is. Very
You are
interesting.
you are a
That's very
plethora of
cool.
information today, Dustin. You
Oh,
have a lot of info.
I got it, girl.
Well, it's
No,
super telling that a scientist tested that wafer and there's not a trace of salt. I think that's pretty big because
I
you're
think it's
right.
big.
Absolutely
Right.
everything has a trace of it here.
Right.
So
So it's
that's
hard to fake
something.
something like that, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
maybe
where's it
on
get?
different planets, there's different ways to grow different
Yes.
things, or maybe
Makes sense.
these creatures or these beings are traveling to different planets and trading, their things, their technology
Oh,
for
sure. Yeah.
buckwheat, for
No, you're
whatever,
right.
to make their bland ass pancakes. And
Straight
you're like,
up.
tastes like cardboard. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, if an alien gave me a cardboard pancake, I'd be like, can I have a fucking cinnamon roll instead, please? Or like, or you can just like probe me. I'd rather be probed than eat a fucking bland ass pancake. I'm a French toast girl, anyways.
Oh, great.
Man. Well,
See,
now we know they have no taste buds.
yeah, right.
They have
Yeah.
nothing.
Dang.
uh, well,
Some,
there's another interesting story that I like to share. This is back in 1969. This is back in Holland, where this guy, he's a rich guy, he's like a millionaire. I think he's like an inventor of some sort. I can't forget Stefan, something. His last name is Dundarity. Might be saying it a little bit wrong. But anyways, super well off. Another reason why this guy wouldn't make up a story too. It's just like he wasn't trying to make money or trying to do anything to like, make a spectacle of himself. He's already rich and he's known. But anyways, him and his wife and his two teenage daughters and son went out to a sailboat out where I don't know what that ocean is. That's right above Holland. They went out there and just did some recreational sailing, and out in the clear channel, they hit something in the water, and Dundarity looks over and he sees there's a body up, face down in the water, and he's like, "Oh shit! I just hit this dude." So he just first instinct was to jump over the railing to retrieve the body, and once he grabs this guy, he notices in a suit, in a like a bulbous like head suit, and he's like a real heavy dude. He's like a real muscular, like bony, just really tough. So he manages to get up there with his family, helping to pull this thing up, and it's just he had like this round helmet with a blue, like light blue shine coming through it. It's a light, and it was just he's knocked out, and he sees, and then shortly after this UFO pops out of the water, just not the whole thing, just the top of it. And a door opens up, and another creature that is in the same suit comes walking out of it. And the family starts screaming and crying on one side of the boat while this thing comes throwing itself over to retrieve his knocked out friend.
Oh my God.
And they're all like screaming and crying and shit. And then he goes, he just waves a gesture of thanks and gets his buddy onto the thing. And I guess the family was so freaked out they just stayed on the boat because I guess they can sleep on it and whatever. I guess they stayed until the morning until this thing came out again in the morning. And same thing, the door opened, this guy came out and was like, "Hey, come aboard. I want to thank you again." And
For
then
some
he's
bland
like,
pancakes.
and there's no bland pancakes involved in this one. But yeah, he hops on and he noticed he takes off his helmet and it was like this like horse, like I don't know if I have any pictures. Um it's like a horse like face, like seal type ET. It's really weird looking. But he's very bony, but using telekinesis to
Telep-
talk and stuff. Am I saying it right? Telepathic.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Telepathy.
He's not betting shit. Yeah. I don't know if I need, I don't know if I need pictures.
Wow.
I really want to see a picture of this horse face seal creature.
Okay, hold
A
on.
horse seal.
A horse
seal.
A horse seal.
Sounds,
It's a horse seal.
sounds like
seal.
things of nightmares.
Yeah. Here, actually,
Wow.
I got a book. I can pull it.
And you said this was a long time ago? Oh yeah, he's skating his butt. That's news to me. Wow.
It's
See, I
news to
told
me
ya.
too.
Lots of
Back in
info.
1969.
Wow.
69. Oh my goodness. Okay,
yeah.
so that to me looks like part horse, part monkey, part
Mhm.
part human, part like Jesus, I don't even know.
Yeah, right.
Part
So
like my uncle Kevin.
a lot of inbreeding if that's the case.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
But no, yeah, so he was introduced to others, just like other females and males, females and males, a version of this horse face thing. And he was put in front of a computer screen, or it kind of actually looked like an iPad, and he actually get to hold it while he was asking questions to these things like, so where'd you come from? Is this planet here? And how they live their lives, and like everything that he asked, it appeared in front of him on the screen. So like even like he asked like what's the internals of their houses look like, they kind of look like ours too, like this kind of like just chill. um Most of their planet is covered in water. That's one reason why they do farming of the water creatures they have there. And Wendell Stevens actually wrote this book and did a big case on it and went to Holland and went with this guy. And he was, after
Wow.
having this experience with these ETs, and it was only the one time he had the physical interaction and having the questions and stuff like that. He kept telepathic communication with them. So every day around, not every day, I think it was, it'd be ridiculous if they contact them every goddamn day, maybe once a month or something like that.
Like,
But yeah,
Ding.
yeah, like around 3 o'clock,
yeah.
he would get like a feeling in his head where he sit down at his office and then like he just sit there with his pen and his like arm just go nuts on like all the messages
Oh
that they were giving
wow.
him. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
So
I get that. That resonates. That's
so no,
pretty
I've
again,
cool.
like
always
these people from
wondered.
this, yeah. Mhm.
I've always wondered like if some of the thoughts that we have every day just as everyday people are placed into our head, or like if there's something behind it, because
Mhm.
the other day I was on break at work and I went there. We have a picnic table out back, and I was really tired at work that day, and I laid on the picnic table. And you know how like when you first fall asleep, like when you close your eyes and your body starts to kind of sink, and then you kind of just lose all sense of your surroundings. I lost all sense of my surroundings and I just kind of sunk in the picnic table, and I was so relaxed. And I remember like having a gut-wrenching feeling, just all of a sudden, like just a gut-wrenching feeling. And I opened my eyes like I had been sleeping for 2 weeks. Like like
Wow.
it scared me awake. And I've always wondered, like in instances like that, or like when you have just a gut feeling about something, like is there a possibility that there's something or someone that's helping us or making us feel the way that we feel about certain things, or pushing us in a certain direction, you know?
That's
I
very funny that you said that. I can relate to that as the Mandela effect. Like with things that I don't know, is there something out there that's kind of making this happen? I don't know if you know what the Mandela effect is. Like
Kind
do you,
of.
yeah,
fruit like
like
fruit
things. Mhm.
yeah, like Fruit of the Loom has this famous thing with the Crotopia or the hell that thing was that
The
Cornucopia.
cornucopia.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Jinx. um yeah,
Yeah,
so
things
there's
that they change,
right.
altered a
Well,
little bit.
that's
And they're like, oh, it's always been. It's like, no, it hasn't.
yeah.
Or
Well,
Oh,
that one
yeah,
Shazam.
yeah, yeah.
well that
The
one
Monopoly
yeah.
man didn't always have the monocle.
Yeah.
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 But there, a lot of
Okay.
that stuff has been proven that people will actually show videos of them like, why actually have an old shirt from the 90s with that symbol there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so is it the government or is it extraterrestrials that kind of like say this is kind of an experiment of like how they can change history without like
Yeah.
without just tampering with us a little bit where we slowly forget or we kind of like,
Or they
you
can
know,
literally change our reality, and then all of
yeah,
a sudden we're like,
right.
wait, that's not what I'm used to, but then it just becomes our reality because we're like, okay, maybe I'm crazy, or maybe it has always been that way. And then you start to think, then you start to like
Well, then
really go back
then
on it,
other
and you're
people
like,
remember too. It's just not you, just other
yeah.
people too. It's like fuck yeah, I remember that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it is, I think it's aliens and the government. Like I think honestly,
Sure.
I think some of them, and this is just like all my what I think, my opinions, but I think at some point the government started working with aliens or started communicating with them. They've
Mhm.
been keeping it under wraps for years and years and years and years and years. I mean, there
Yep.
are like, retired military men that will vouch for, the things that they've kept under wraps, or the things that they kept a secret, or the, missions that never happened, So
Mhm.
I think it's maybe a little bit of both, but I have no way to know for sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's kind of like that theory too with Skinny Bob. I think it was a guy, the E.T. Gray that they caught after I don't know if it was the original crash of Area 51. But yeah, they captured this skinny gray alien and then they were like, you know, exchanging information and technology. Very interesting. The fact that a lot of the creations that we see today was from Skinny Bob's knowledge and shit. Like, yeah, let me tell you,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is how we make
Skinny
Velcro.
Bob. Skinny Bob. There's got
Skinny
to be some
Bob.
sort of merge. There's got to be. I feel any military involvement that resonates because they're going to try to get their hands on. I have a question though. I want to go back to you with work because I worked in service industry as well. But I find it fascinating. It's fascinating to see all these different humans. But have you ever come
Oh
across
yeah.
someone, especially being in a hot spot, that you're like, are they human? Have you seen
Um,
anyone come in that are like, you can't figure that person out or
one
like
hundred
cool stories?
percent,
Oh, cool.
one
I want to hear some
hundred percent.
stories.
There are
Cool.
so okay. Coming from a very very small town, like Belleville has like 2,000 people in the entire town. My high school graduating class was 69 kids.
69.
69. My
Sorry.
whole high school was 500. It's okay. I'm a child too. I get it. Like I'm always gonna be a kid at heart. I'm always gonna laugh when somebody farts and when somebody says 69. 69. But yeah, there were, I mean, coming from a small town in Wisconsin, there are a lot of morbid alcoholics, right? And they're people that will drink themselves into an extraterrestrial-like state. Literally, where they will have too many shots, and by the time they leave, they're like, so, and they won't be able to form a sentence, but it's like lights are on, but nobody's home. It's like, can I call you a cab, buddy?
Oh God.
I mean,
oh gosh.
So there's people like that, but there have been a couple people where I'm like, I don't know if you were like lobotomized at some point in your life, or like if you were like stuck your tongue on too many batteries, what happened. But like there's been a couple people where like they're nice people, they're polite, but they're very, I don't want to say socially awkward because that's not the right word for it. It's almost like they're hyper aware of everyone that's around them, and they really understand, and they really it's a good word for it. They really understand how to communicate with certain people on a base level, if that makes any sense. So like just like little conversations would just be like just a little weirder, or like this one guy said something to me about and I think he was one of the drunk ones, because he said he was one of the guys that drives one of the UFOs in the UFO parade every year.
Oh, okay.
But he's also one of the I don't think he's crazy, but he's one of the town crazies, because
Sure.
he has seen some shit. He has seen some shit, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit if he's like that because he's seen some shit, or maybe because they gave him something, or maybe because they switched bodies with him. I mean, I have no idea, but he was always on my radar as like, if there is one person in this town that could be an extraterrestrial in a human suit, it's this guy for sure.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That TV show, Resident Alien. You ever heard of that one?
I love it. I love it. It's about to, yeah, season 4 is about to start.
Is it? Cool.
I like that show.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm at towards the end of the second season. I'm a late bloomer on that show. But yeah, I found it. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. So Brogan, if you haven't seen that one,
I have not. I'm gonna have to check it out. I love just.
Is it on HBO or is it on
what is it? Peacock, I think, or who?
Peacock?
Netflix?
Or maybe Netflix. Streams. No, it is Netflix, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
I just thought it was so cleverly done, but it's all disclosure. I mean, they get into the military, they get into portals, they get into cloning, they get into all of it.
Yeah.
And Birdman and all of it. And I'm just like, are they doing this? And then you realize, oh shit, that means the majority of people watching this are just going to think, oh, that's just a TV show. When you tell them, like, I met a Birdman, like, oh, you saw that in a show. So I'm like, is it helping or hurting all this disclosure in Hollywood? I don't know.
I think it depends, but it's like, I think the government, like, I think, I don't want to keep saying the government, just like higher ups in our country. I think they're trying
the one percenters.
Yeah, I think they're trying to kind
of the puppet masters.
I think they're trying to kind of groom us a little bit so that when we do finally meet extraterrestrials, or where they finally come out and say, we have made contact and they've helped us out with this technology, blah, blah, blah. I think they're grooming us and showing us these pictures, these images, and these experiences, so that when it actually does happen, we don't lose our shit, freak out and go, oh my God, the world anymore. Settle down.
True.
It's okay. Yeah. They just want to give us some bland ass pancakes. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, they have to do that at your parade, your annual parade. Have a booth of the bland ass pancake.
Yeah.
Do they make unsalted saltines? Because that's what I'm picturing in my head.
That's what it tastes like.
I can burn some saltines, scrape the salt off.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think that's awesome. Everything you just said resonates big time. And I think it's going to be so fun when they say, and guess what, people? Alien's favorite place is Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I love Wisconsin.
And they're gonna be like Brogan's favorite cornfield.
Yeah.
That's their hideout right there. That's where they set up their tiki hut and pool.
Yeah. No, it's no again, this was again, there's just so many places in Wisconsin. Not just the town itself, but like just even people's properties out and yeah,
Have
I
you
could
ever been to
show.
Cave of the Mounds?
Where is that?
Ooh.
Oh,
It's
Cave of the
in
Mounds?
yeah,
Okay.
it's in Blue
Oh,
Mountains.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, you know what, Brogan? I have not been there yet. I'm just like, I should be slapping myself.
Dustin,
I
I
know.
want to just, I want to reach for the phone. You have got to go. It is so cool. So it's all
Yeah.
like stalagmites and stalactites,
Yeah.
and it's really cold down there. So make sure that you put a shirt on, Dustin.
Oh,
You gotta wear a shirt.
I think my nipples can cut glass.
Probably they could cut one of those stalactites right off. No, I mean, but I've always wondered too. Like do extraterrestrials not just live in their spaceships or on different planets? Like, do they have colonies underground
Oh,
possibly,
yeah.
or do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
I
are.
think that there are. I think that there are, and this is just like my own conspiracy theorist mind, but I think that there are civilizations that went
Yes.
underground years and years and years ago,
Yeah.
and we haven't found them, and they haven't come to surface yet.
Yeah.
And I'm
right
wondering
there
what
with you.
those people look like after so many years, no sunlight, and probably inbreeding.
Well, they had some of those people, those little green kids in the 1600s in England.
Yes.
They
yes.
came out of ground, but now, and Jessica Jones just did a big show on this, but now they're saying, no, that was really the early 1900s. But they were like green.
Yeah, they were
How do
green.
you mess
transparent.
up the 1600s with 1900s?
I know, right? But that's why I think they were hiding it, like making people think it's folklore instead of, oh, no, this is like
Yes.
present day.
No, it
So
is.
that, but I also feel there's a huge thing. My contact and all my experience was up there in Door County. We had I was a fib. I was a fib
Yeah.
that came up from
Yep.
Illinois. And that's why, well, yeah, I have roots, but I was the back and forther. But the water on Lake Michigan, on the water,
Yeah.
so much. Something is going down under that water, especially
think
that
so,
little,
too.
it was right in the bay there. And oh,
Yep.
you could just feel it. You put your feet on the water, you just feel bum rushed of activity.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Not just sturgeon.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that
Nuts.
expression. You feel bum rushed.
Yeah.
But no, you're right about the extraterrestrials living underground. There's tons, not just here in America, but all around the world of underground beings. A lot of them are reptilian. And then there's even the story of the Hopi that talk about the ant people that actually saved them from two cataclysms that happened on Earth. The first one was with fire, either if it was like an asteroid strike or maybe a sun flare or something, or so anyways, these ant people, but they were the Kachina.
I was just gonna say, here's my Kachina.
The Kachina were actually the ones that were guiding the Hopi to the ant people, and the ant people actually like gave them sustenance and shelter, and actually deprived themselves of food to feed the people. That's why there's a theory of why you see the ants today, that they have the thin waist, that they were, sacrificing themselves for us to survive.
Well, thank you, aunties.
Yeah, right. So don't step on any.
I used to be a landscaper, and I was pulling weeds one day, and I was sitting down, and I pulled a weed that was an ant hill, and I literally got ants in my pants. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
It is not fun.
Aww.
I think this one Kachina doll, and this one is rare that I was told that when I got it. That kind of looks like an ant, It's got the black face.
It does.
That head.
Yeah, the head, yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of these things have suits. That's why I like the astronaut looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like
helmets.
R2-D2 suits, but like more elaborate.
Does that not look like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch?
Oh yeah, totally.
For sure.
Maybe that's what they based it off of, since they have so much disclosure. Maybe
Yeah,
they're
right.
trying to say something.
Yes. If Stitch is real, I need to meet that little bugger. He's so damn
Oh
cute.
my god! If only we had like creatures like that on Earth. Holy crap!
Seriously. Seriously.
I still feel they're here. They're just running at a different frequency. And once in a while we can get a peek at them or the certain person, maybe the crazy dude in your town who drives the truck is always drinking because he's always seeing these little creatures everywhere or something. Like, I don't know.
Well, you ever heard of the
He's probably on that wavelength.
Yeah.
You guys heard of the pug wedgies, right?
I have a wedgie right now, so I don't know. What do you mean?
Are you wearing a thong, Heidi?
Yeah. Always.
Well, it's a constant wedgie then, right?
Yeah.
No, the pug wedgie. It's it's a cryptic creature, but it's been seen by Native Americans here in America. It was like a small, kind of looks like a hedgehog type humanoid creature, and they run around, and they kind of like interdimensional beings. I don't know if I have a picture or not. I mean, I have
Love
like
that.
here.
Kids love these kind of stories, by the way.
We had this woman
I work with
Right?
Kids Brogan. Yeah.
We had
Oh,
this
there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, we had this
Punk
woman that
wedgie.
so this woman that we had on, Susie, she's so knowledgeable about these creatures. She goes out and looks for these things, and then apparently there's a Native American tribe that like dedicates their god and their tribe to this thing.
Huh.
Very interesting. That's our AI.
How do you say it
version.
again? A puck wedgie?
Pug wedgie.
Puck wedgie.
Little pug wedgies.
Puck wedgie.
Pug wedgies.
That's awesome.
So
Say
cute.
that 5 times fast. Puck wedgie, puck wedgie, puck wedgie.
Pug wedgie, boogie. Oh man.
Yeah, if I
That's
saw one of
awesome.
those coming for me, man, I guarantee I'd be going the other way.
Yeah. And that kind of reminds me of with the interdimensional beings, like I like to talk about Iceland a lot because shit's crazy. Have you heard about what's happening in Iceland?
From
Not
you and
recently.
your guest. You had a guest once that was
She's
incredible.
a native of Iceland, and she's very, very knowledgeable about like more than half the population of Iceland believes that these interdimensional elves that look like the ones from the Lord of the Rings, like the tall, blonde, just move with grace, and they live side by side with the locals of Iceland, and the government there too takes it dead serious, where they won't make roads or move rocks on that island unless they gain permission from the elves first. So I don't know if they write a message in a bottle and throw it near the cove and hope to get a message back,
or they
it's like
telepathically communicate with them.
or that too, or is it like some Men in Black type deal? And there's
Paper
reports,
airplanes.
and there's been reports of people who like didn't believe in that shit and like started building roads and moving rocks, and people have died, people have gotten sick, machinery has broke, rocks have been moved back. So and then they and the local people warn tourists not to throw rocks because you might hit one of the interdimensional beings and it'll fuck you up.
Well, remind me if I ever go to Iceland never to throw rocks, because that's one of my favorite things to do is like find cool stones and like whip them into the ocean as hard as I can. Next thing you know, I nut one of these creatures with a rock and he comes back and just gives me a bland pancake. I'm not
You're gonna eat this, like it or not.
You're gonna eat this and you're gonna like it.
Damn. Are there any kids in Iceland? Because kids like to throw rocks.
There are, yeah.
Exactly.
Apparently,
I wonder. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just there's a huge population of women there too. Apparently, I don't know if it's this because she was telling me that she has a special diet because of her ancestors. Like she can't eat certain foods without getting like violently sick, so she has to like eat like almost like raw meat and like twigs and shit. I'm like, whoa, what?
She sounds hardcore. She sounds like a hardcore.
No, but I was just saying, like, that's just because those people have been on that island for so long.
Yeah.
That like they have a certain diet where like they just if they eat something else, it just kind of like fucks with them. That was just bizarre to hear that. I was like,
fascinating.
Wow. Right?
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It shows that your ancestors are screaming through her. And she's got the half tattooed face that's very traditional Icelandic goddess.
Icelandic people, to me, like if you just mention Icelandic people, I just think of the most beautiful human beings you could ever imagine, because I
Yes.
swear every time you see or you hear about somebody from Iceland, they're like they're like Greek, they're Icelandic gods or
Yeah.
goddesses. Like they're beautiful human beings, tall, beautiful, smart. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, I want to move to Iceland and
It's yeah.
It's like one
absolutely.
of the
Yeah.
cheapest places to fly in Europe, I heard.
Is
So
it?
I heard,
Huh.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I'd be like a hop, skip. I like to go. Shit. And actually, she's actually there right now visiting her family. She lives in Norway with her husband and her kids and animals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
She's got a
Okay.
actually, I love it, Heidi. I like to get her and you together because she's just so fucking cool and she does so much cool shit. She 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 films her life doing stuff all the time. But she goes to this one place where I thought was really cool, where you take things to this place. Like she took her wedding dress, but like people take their anger out by whipping paint and making somewhat of an art, but just using frustration and getting your, like the people who go to smash rooms, like just to get
Mm-hmm.
their, it's kind of like, but more artistic in a sense. So her whole wedding dress got like all like just thrown with different paint colors and it turned into art basically at the end.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
She
And then
could probably she could probably sell that wedding dress too after she
yeah,
painted
and
it up.
she goes to clown. It's like a clown club where others just kind of like learn how to be a clown. Is she?
The
This
insane
video of
clown
her,
posse.
not like that,
That's
just like
awesome.
a no. It's really cool. Her and the group of people are all wearing the red noses, but they're all like dancing with each other, and it's just she gets her in all these. Her life is just so there's so much shit
Expressive.
going on. Yeah,
Sounds like
expressive
she's just constantly moving energy out. Yeah.
constantly. It just keeps
Yeah.
going. Got tons to share and it's just fun to live vicariously through her. And that's just an honor to have her on her show and just have her speak the wisdom and just see what she's doing. And she's got this like seagull named Gary that comes and
Eagle named
bangs on the
Gary.
door for food and
That's,
shit.
that's awesome.
Yeah. No, no, it's not Gary. It's Kevin. I should get that right. She's
Kevin.
like, she watches this.
Aw.
Who the hell? Who the hell is Gary? Kevin the Seagull.
Kevin the
That's
Seagull.
hilarious. That's my uncle's name.
Kevin.
From the book cover.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, Iceland sounds fascinating. And the
Yes.
folklore, and all of it. Yeah. So,
I think it'd be a beautiful place to go visit. One of my coworkers actually, him and his wife for their honeymoon went to Iceland, and they're big like rock climbers and stuff like that. And he said, and it was really funny when he said like throwing rocks and stuff. He has pictures of him and his wife like throwing rocks into the ocean, and he said after that like time on their they were up on some cliff or something. And they were tossing rocks. And he said the weather got really shitty. So the weather got really, really bad, started like wind like crazy, raining. It got really cold. And he said they had to pack it in and go back to their hotel because the wind was so bad. He felt like him and his new bride were gonna literally be blown away.
Oh, whoa.
whoa, there you
So
go. She's
Yeah.
like, stop throwing
maybe someone
rocks.
got yeah, yeah. You threw the first stone, motherfucker. What?
Oh,
Yeah, right.
No, like, but after you said that, I'm like, man, maybe that's
Yeah,
why the weather got
sure.
crappy.
Yeah. And they
I would
actually
not be surprised.
they believe
Right.
it. They believe in a sky god called Thor, and he comes down with his hammer.
Yeah, he does.
You
Uh,
mean Norse Thor? We just
Yeah,
did a whole Norse
yeah, he
play
comes
on
down with
Thor.
his hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loki and everybody. Oh, I
yeah,
loved all
that
them. Yeah.
all those characters are part of the Icelandic culture
Yeah.
and religion. When I found that out, I was like, damn, that's tight. And it makes it even sound like it's even more technical, especially with Thor and his hammer, that the technology is
Yeah.
not understood by the
Yeah,
people who are witnessing this guy whipping this weapon around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Norse
no, it's
mythology is fascinating.
isn't it?
Love, yeah, Norse is great.
And
You were
actually,
talking, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say there's actually reports of mermaids on the coast of Iceland too. She was telling us. And there's
They got
actually
mermaids too?
they got
Holy smoke.
mermaids, and that there's actually some impressive footage that was released. I don't know, it was Animal Planet or something. Where these some guys were in a submarine, and this fucking hand comes and like touches the window. You see, it's all webbed and blue. You seen that? You seen that
I've seen
video?
that video.
Have you?
I'm obsessed with mermaids.
Oh shit!
Obsessed.
Ah.
I know for a fucking fact they are real.
Fuck
There
yeah!
are mer people that live very, very deep in the ocean. Their livers have evolved so that they can dive a lot deeper. Or maybe it's
Yeah,
their spleen. I think it's their spleen. Either way, their organs have evolved so that they can dive super, super deep. They've developed sonar. They've developed, obviously a tail, but like it goes back to the monkeys. And, like extraterrestrials wanted to create a hybrid
mm-hmm.
of their people and whatever's on Earth, and they wanted to do multiple. I guarantee. I shouldn't say they wanted to. I guarantee they wanted to impregnate multiple different species on Earth to see where their success would lie. And
Yeah.
most of their success obviously was monkeys, but I think that they mated with dolphins, as either
Oh yeah.
dolphins or like some sort of manatee, something like that, something with a tail like a mermaid.
Yeah.
And they evolved and developed, and I think they've gotten really, really good at staying literally under the radar
Oh
and
yeah.
hiding.
Well,
Ah.
I think they've been here since the dawn of time. Like extraterrestrials have been having bases on the bottom of the ocean where they're just tinkering with our DNA, and that's another perfect hiding spot for anything like from outer space. From even if they're developing creatures above, they're not going to come down in anything without getting crushed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
you're exactly right. I think they've been tampering with DNA from the ocean to the humans, and yeah, they're not, there's so many different cultures. Then it's not just one culture that talks about mermaids. It's like all around the world. It's everywhere.
Yes.
India,
Yes,
fucking,
yes.
just fucking everywhere. So
Since forever. Like
forever,
old folklore. Yeah, that's been
yes.
around for yeah.
And then, no, this they know how to be swift. And if you think about like, I like to talk about the fish astronaut theory. It's kind of like, say, a fish could talk in the ocean, and there's boats. Say the boats are the UFOs, right? And they're
Mhm.
like, man, we never seen a boat before. That's unheard of. That's legend shit. You know what I'm saying? Until one of them motherfuckers that had that conversation got caught into a net
Get
and thrown up on
snatched up by
top
a bullet.
and see what all happens on that UFO, or you see other fish getting slit open and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like some terrifying UFO experiences, you know. And then that shit's like, oh, you're just too little, and you get thrown back in there, and you come back to your homies like, yo, bro, you won't believe that shit. I couldn't breathe in that atmosphere. People were getting sliced up.
I've thought about that when I go
And then people,
fishing. Like
the
I'll pull a
fishes were
fish
like,
out of the
there's
water and
no
it's like,
fucking way, bro. And that's just how it
oh
is on Earth. This is exactly the same shit.
yeah. No, honestly, that's a great analogy. Seriously, like that's
Thank you.
it. Yeah, that's
And you
pretty
thought of
awesome.
that when you said
Yeah.
when you were on boats, you thought of that when you
No, I
Well, when
just
I
thought
was
of that just now.
fishing,
Oh, I mean
when I,
when Brogan was fishing, she's thinking
Oh,
of that. She said.
oh,
Mhm.
well, I thought like when you catch a fish and you just look at him and you're like, he has no idea what's going on. He probably
hell
thinks
no.
I'm a fucking an alien, like you
My
just
God.
said. Like
Yeah.
it was, yeah, perfect analogy. Love it.
Yeah. The fact that like the fish would come back down is like, dude, you won't believe what happened. You know that myth we were
Yeah,
just talking about? I experienced that motherfucker.
bro.
No, you
I know
didn't do that,
we were
Bobby.
smoking. I know we were smoking bubbles, but I swear to
Yeah.
God, I swear to God.
I know that bubbler was super awesome, but man,
Yeah,
no way.
they were huge, dude. They were huge.
Yeah. So yeah, it really makes you think that I think we've been like it's been a playground for extraterrestrials to do experiments on, and like
Mhm.
I like how there's a place in I think it's Peru, Pumapunku, where this place was built but the locals say it was built by the extraterrestrials that built it in one night, and it makes sense. These things look like they're like manufactured blocks, like they're all printed out all the same, the cutting techniques and the size and the boulders is whatever the fuck. So it's like a kind of like any other researcher that would go to the jungle would make like a home base and make it out of, I'm not saying like an extraterrestrial has to use whatever materials are here and it had to bring a whole thing. He had to use the blocks that are here. Now he didn't bring a whole thing to build with. Anyways, for a short while, they were doing experiments on the people or the area. And then when they left, they blew it all up. So they didn't want anybody, the people, to have any advantage above each other because of the technology there and just the building itself. So I find it so
sounds like the World
too.
Fairs.
Right?
The old school.
But no, it just sounds so interesting
Start over.
to me, right? Just kind of like, whoa. And like,
Wow.
and like the band of holes too in Peru, where like the Native Americans saw this thing come from the sky, like a rover, like the rovers that you see on the moon of the US. This thing came down and made these like shallow holes running straight line down the terrain of the desert, basically. And the people were like, what the fuck is this thing? And it like shot up into the sky, but it just left this trail behind. But I think whatever it was like a robot that was just taking the soil samples and whatever it was, the raw materials, and this went off. But the people in that area started making the Nazca lines. Huh? So the band of holes kind of stemmed to like the cargo cult of like, we're trying to entice this thing that came from the sky to come back because you made this one gigantic straight line that's 2 miles long. You know what I'm saying? And then they start making helter skelter lines. And then some of the priests throughout time are like, well, they're not understanding our helter skelter lines, to start making animals out of them. So we're more intelligent. So they're making big animals out of the desert and like humanoid astronaut type things. But again, everything was meant to be seen from the sky. And like even Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca means stone of the jag.
Say it one more time.
Lake Titicaca. Anyways, at Lake Titicaca, it means stone of the jaguar. And if you look from the sky view of Lake Titicaca, it looks exactly, but not shitting you, exactly like a jaguar jumping on a rabbit. Now, how the fuck did ancient man know what the shape was that? Not able to see from above.
The outline of the lake looks like that.
Right. And how is it just simply the name of Stone of the Jaguar too? Huh?
Oh.
Like,
is that they wouldn't have been able to see that high at that time.
Exactly. So incoming space visitors become like, we just happen to, this lake happened to look like a jungle cat in your area. I think his name is a jaguar. Is that
jaguar?
Jumping on a rabbit.
Wow.
But no, it's very interesting. It's just like, where did all this knowledge come from? And especially when these people are writing and carving into the stone that they were physically interacting with these gods, and people just like blow it off as that some myth or some crazy story that one of the local Indian guys here made up. It's like, no, fuck you. Especially there's some detailed stories and detail of evidence of the cargo cult is the stem of religion, I believe, is where all religion got its start. You know what I'm saying? Where like something physical had to entice the people to like hardcore believe and do rituals and
it's the whole thing of Jesus too. They say like Jesus died, came back from the dead, healed people, did this, did that. And it's like, how like everybody has a sense about them. You can sense when somebody's lying. You can sense when somebody's upset. You can sense if something's just not right. You have that sixth sense. Everybody does. They just choose to either tune it out or ignore it. But it's like, something like Jesus. I mean, he could have been an extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
To help us out a little bit. And then, he took off, and all of a sudden, it's
no, you're right. Like a lot of things, unfortunately, a lot of things in the Bible I just can't understand because they speak in this weird poetry and shit. But if you like change angel and God to like ET and alien, it makes a lot more sense. I can relate to that.
It does. Well, and they said, heaven and earth and hell and blah 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 blah. Well, I think there's a lot of things under the surface. Well, like if you read a Bible, there's a lot of things under the surface that could be translated very differently.
Well, and the older texts of the Bible are even more controversial, and that's why they don't even talk about it, because it's like it makes more sense.
That's why there's not many,
especially the book of Enoch.
Out.
My God, this guy was talking about. Excuse me. He was talking about interacting with extraterrestrials, that getting abducted and going to a place to measure out a building, and then living up to 200 years old. And then I think his nephew was Noah. There's all these correlations, and Noah lived up to like 250 years too. Who are these who are these people living again? Yeah, again, these special people who get to, I don't know if they're the hybrids that extraterrestrials just put in line of how things are going, and I don't know.
I think that's how we should be living. It's just the human interference has created this shorter lifespan, shorter and shorter, because they're just generating our heart. They're harvesting our energy at this point, like the puppet masters.
Yes.
But that's why I love the old stories and the folklores and everything, because they didn't have the interwebs. They had some advanced tech, but them storytelling was how they passed down their own history, and we know history gets rewritten. This is a little bit of a pivot, but with saying all this that we're saying, these ancient texts and scripts, the story of, how they're all under the Vatican, and that there's like a football fields big full of all this old ancient text. Do you think that's going to be released now? Now there's a shy town boy in there.
Right. Who knows?
Are we gonna see any of this ancient text in our lifetime?
Cool. Or I feel like the Vatican
I hope so, but who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Vatican must have some really crazy secrets in the basement of that place.
They're holding all their shit.
Yeah.
And their own secrets are in there.
Yeah, right.
Man,
I feel like it would only take like a blowjob or a hand job, or a blowjob and a hand job to figure out these secrets. We went to the Vatican. Heidi, if me and you went together, we could definitely find some shit out. Girl.
We'll get some of those secrets out.
Oh God, that's so funny. Yeah, it makes you wonder what's gonna happen here in the future. If all this war that's happening around the world, is that gonna spark more influence from the outside world, have us pump our brakes and saying, hey, you're not the only one here, buddy. This is because a lot of there's a lot of theories too, like Admiral Byrd, who's the one that flew over the North Pole, and he had a diary on his deathbed that he released about flying over the hollow earth. There was a gigantic hole that he flew over, and he saw there was plant life and mammoth and other weird fucked up creatures that he never saw before. And he got closer, and then flying saucers came flying out of it, and some beam hit his plane to go inside the earth. And he noticed that the flying saucers had swastikas on them. That's not relating to the Nazis at all, but just it's the fact that
that was weaponized too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The swastika has been around for thousands of years anyway.
Yeah. Isn't it an old Hindu or like a
yeah.
I think so.
Yep. But anyways, he goes down, and he notices he's in a city of like this just like glass and crystal city, and he goes up to this like master guy. Oh, did she leave?
She'll pop back on. It might have been a phone or a battery thing.
Well, anyways, I forgot what I was saying.
You were going into the city, and you see this.
Oh yes, the city. And then he reaches the guy who is in control of the place and just told him about he was not happy about all the nuclear bombs that they were testing because it was disrupting their world with earthquakes and other crazy fucked up shit. So it's just like
Wow.
he wanted this guy to send a message to whatever leader he had to stop it, you know? And that was a
Hmm.
big classified and controversial story of like if it was true or not, or if he's just, wanted to make up something. But no, it's just like he was hired for
Wow.
Project High Jump too in the South Pole because the Nazis were trying to find the Hollow Earth too, and
Mm.
they had some land down there that they claimed to be called New Schwabia, and then had some submarine bases there, and yeah, they're just trying to find the entrance to the Hollow Earth to gain support for the war. You know, he probably would have shit a brick knowing that they had some swastikas on their
I know.
their UFOs. Like,
Jeez.
damn, you are for what I need. But
Oh
if I had
God.
not on board with his race theory, but
Oh gosh.
yeah.
We would have been like, tag it. Perfect. Simple. Wow. Dang. Yeah, use a lot of refreshers. That was like a crash course refresher.
Oh, is it?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I was
Yeah,
just
no, I
word vomit.
no, I love it because we've been doing this forever and you get
Yes.
inundated with so much. It's really trippy to go above and just see the whole big picture and just be like, whoa, this
Yeah,
is
there's just so many
huge.
correlations and
Yeah.
just
And here everybody's just like falling into the screen, like, I must scroll for an hour as I shit. Like
yeah.
instead of like, whoa, what is it?
Yeah.
I want to tell you to look around. I'll send you the video. I saw it today. I think my sister sent it, which was so sweet. It reminds me of Wisconsin
Oh,
about how the nature and we're big on. I've just been studying the animal kingdoms and stuff, but nature talks to us too. It's at a certain frequency. So there are people now that go out there. They don't move. They measure themselves. I wish you could see this because it's in the blur. Here's a plant. It's my
yeah.
monstera. Anyway, they're just sitting there and they're talking to the plant and they're like, touch my shoulder and telling it to do things, and it will come in and be like, dink,
Oh, yeah.
and then and blow away, and then and they crying, they're like, wow, let me try it again, now touch my elbow or whatever. It's really kind of cool. So it just makes you feel like you're this big, but
Oh,
also
yeah.
how cool to be alive today and find
Oh,
all these
it's funny that
mysteries
you
of the
said
world.
that just now because I saw a video today of a guy. It's the plants are conscious. They
Hmm.
could feel and know what's going on around them. So this dude starts playing in the rain. I don't know if it was the rainforest or the forest, but the wind was blowing the trees and stuff. Well, before he started, and right when he starts, the trees started calming down and sit still to listen to like him
So
playing the
cool.
flute, like Native American type flute
Love that
playing.
shit. Yep.
And
Yep.
like it's just like they know it. And then when he's done playing, they went above. They went like this
Yes.
kind of like zoned in on that tone and music or
Yes.
frequency. No, and then fungus is a big player in the
Oh
communication with
yeah.
the trees. I heard that like
Yes.
fungus has like this whole. It's kind of like movie Avatar, the
Uh-huh.
ground,
Yeah.
everything's alive and communicates to itself.
Yes.
And same with the fungus. So if a tree is sick or dying, um, another tree nearby can send its nutrients through the fungi that's
Isn't
connecting
that
it underground.
beautiful?
Isn't that crazy? It's
It's
like
beautiful, is
it's
what it is.
insane.
It also makes me not really. It says sounds. I teach the kids this. I don't worry, stress so much, or worry. It's like the planet knows what to do. That's
Mm-hmm.
why when all these agendas roll in, I'm like, chill your roll, y'all. The planet knows what's up, and they know what to do. And we're insignificant. We're creator beings that keep making these things that mess things up in a way. But the
Yes,
planet just like we got that. They brush it off. But
sure.
they're very well in tune with humans that are in tune, that give it respect, that, the balance of nature, the balance in the animal kingdom, and the balance among humans. I think folklore has been talking about that forever. Native Americans talked about that in our
Yes.
country.
Yep.
That's where prayer comes in, praying for the rain, praying for the food to show up.
Yep.
Aborigines did that, the walkabouts in Australia and all that. It's goes gets you get to the simple roots of it. Things are majestic and gorgeous. We're our
Yeah.
own incredible conspiracy story.
We are. No, you're right. I think we were so out of tune with nature that again we're also buried in our phones and technology. And
Yeah.
no, you're right.
Just disconnects us. Mm-hmm.
More proof of like again like the tree brushing your face when you're
Yeah.
expressing something to it. And there's even like I forgot what it's called, but when there's a machine that can like read where there's like a an aura around life form basically. Say like
Yes. Yes.
I could clip uh half of a leaf and then put it underneath this
Yes.
machine. You can see the thing still has its aura in the same shape of where that leaf was. You know what I'm saying? Where that
Yes.
like what the fuck?
Absolutely.
Like its energy is still there. Holy
Like Brogan's.
like
Brogan's
oh
energy's still
Brogan, you're
here.
back.
I'm
Oh,
so
we can't.
sorry. My
Oh yeah.
my
It's
phone
okay.
died. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
it's
thought.
okay. We're just hoping you come back. And you did.
Yes, of course, of course.
You're so beautiful.
I'm back, Jack. I get it from my mama. Thank you.
Beautiness.
Yay! Happy early Mama's Day to mamas out there.
That's right.
This might air on Mama's Day.
Yes, all the mamas. I'm a cat mom and a dog mom.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I think
Hank, right?
with Hank,
Hank the
yeah.
dog.
Yes, Hanky Panky, and then I got Frankie.
Frankie.
Hank and Frank.
Yep.
Frankie
You have a
Tanky.
Hank and Frank. I have a Chuck and Huck, but that's my daughter and son.
Oh, that's
She's
so
Charlie.
cute.
She's
Aw.
Charlie, but I used to call her Chuck. She's like, no,
Charlie.
Chuck and Huck.
Charlie
Mr.
is my
Huckleberry.
favorite name ever. Like my boyfriend and I have already talked about, like if and when we go to have kids, if it's a girl or a boy, Charlie.
Aw,
Aw,
nice.
yeah.
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 My
I like
cat
that
was
for a girl.
Charlie. That's why I picked it. She's over
Yeah,
here.
Charlie's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sorry that you got cut off there and that story.
No, I'm sorry. My
Oh,
phone
it's
died.
okay.
I'm like, fuck no.
Well, you know what? It has happened to me before during a
Yeah.
podcast, and I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't charge my shit.
Well, thank
Hey,
God
or
go
you
back
can
and
be like
edit
me
it,
and just
right?
not show up. I did once. I thought
yeah.
the wrong time for Dustin once, and I'm
Oh yeah.
logging in, and they were rapping. They were over. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Yeah, that's all right.
It happens.
It happens.
Shit happens when you party naked.
Yeah. We're all like
just
half
think of
we're all half
that
naked.
kid from Bad Santa
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with Billy Bob Thornton and that
Yep.
Thurman kid. He gets in that T-shirt.
Yes.
I
Something
love
about
Billy Bob.
party
I
naked.
met
Me too.
I met and worked with Billy Bob, and he is so funny and nice. He's chill. He's nice. His band, remember his band he had or
Yeah.
has?
Yeah.
I worked on there for a week. We just stayed in a soundstage. I was like their foodie person, and then he
That's so
brought me to
cool.
House of Blues to sit up there and hang out with them for the night and all that. It was just,
Oh.
and I knew. Yes, and then
Yeah.
there
Well,
was
Heidi used to hang out
a
with a bunch of
guy.
celebrities back in the
That was
day.
my old world. And then when he married Angelina, the only guy he brought with was this man named Harvey. Hi, Harvey, with dreadlocks. He was a sound guy on a movie I did, so we befriended. So it's always like the 6 degrees of Billy Bob, and then I finally worked with him, and I'm like, hey, I'm Harvey's buddy. And then I was like his buddy, I was like, it was so cool. I bought
That
coffee
is
That
from
is
his
cool.
drummer.
so cool. I
Yeah.
love Billy Bob Thornton. I've always thought
Nice.
he's such a silver fox. Like
He's polite. He's got the old manners. And I know everyone's like, he eats children. And I'm like, I know there's some of them, but I didn't see it. I fed him. So
I think he-
Yeah.
there's no children.
taters.
he likes them mashed taters. Mm-hmm.
Like my taters in them.
He likes them mashed taters. Mm-hmm.
And I like this interview so far. Mm-hmm. And I think we've been talking about UFOs. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Tater.
Dustin, you do way too good of an impression of Sling Blade.
Yeah, right.
Way too good, bro.
That movie's wild and sad.
That's great. It is.
Yeah.
It is. But that's so cool that you got to work with Billy Bob. Like that's super cool. I don't think I've ever, the only celebrity I've ever met is Chris Kirkpatrick. I was working as a bartender in Orlando, and Chris came in with a bunch of his friends, and my manager was like, you're gonna take care of the Kirkpatrick party tonight. And I'm like, are you shitting me right now? Like, I'm pissing my pants because I was such a huge fan, And I took care of their party, and I always thought, like, meet a celebrity, I'm gonna just be gushing. Like I'm gonna just fan dump, and I'm gonna be one of those stupid girl like, oh my god, I love you so much. But I wasn't, it was just like meeting a super cool person that I've listened to their music before. Like, so I've always thought like if I ever met somebody like Billy Bob Thornton or something like that, I would hope to God that I wouldn't do the fan dump and gush all over him. But I honestly, with Billy Bob Thornton, I don't know if I'd be able to control myself. I'd probably get down on
Your
my
hand
knees.
would be in his pants. You're like,
But
excuse me,
yeah,
ma'am.
I'd be down on my knees. Like, you don't want kids? Great, I have a mouth.
Well, hey, I was at the Brewer game a few years ago, and I was sitting right behind Carrot Top.
Oh, Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Oh man, he looks great.
Yeah. I scared the
Pretty
shit out of him
rough.
though when I like tapped him on the shoulder. He's like, "What?"
Dude, I'm surprised he didn't scare the shit out of you.
No, he's a nice guy. And I met Steve-O with my mom.
Steve-O.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, he really liked my mom.
Super cool.
Let me get in that picture with your mom, man. Like that.
Was that when he was still doing drugs, or was he sober then?
No, he's sober. Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is my cat dressed up as Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh my God, I love
Ready to
it.
do some gonzo journalism.
Oh, cute.
Oh my God. So cute.
I had to share.
I've always thought that cats are like part alien.
Well, yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
Because I think the Egyptians worshipped them as gods. And that makes you wonder why. And the fact that they're a weird species of animal, that they're the only in the cat family and only like reptiles have the slit eyes.
Yeah.
Another of their ancestors, like the lions or the tigers or other bigger cats, don't have the slit eyes, and they hiss like snakes.
Yes. Yeah. So. Well, my cat doesn't hiss and he doesn't meow. He just goes meh, 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 meh. Every time he's hungry, he'll go meh, meh, meh. It's like somebody's hitting a buzzer when you get a question wrong.
But I'm looking for my Billy Bob picture.
Yeah, please find it, Heidi.
Yes.
You keep it somewhere. Chat amongst yourselves. Let's see. I'm scrolling. I forgot I was in airplane mode. So I have to re-scroll. I'm like,
so my cat Frankie is he's a Garfield. Like he's a Garfield. He's a big fluffy tabby cat, and if you look at him, if you go, hey Frankie, what's up, buddy? He just gives you this look like, will you fuck off and just feed me, please? Like don't come near me, just like feed me and then pet me and then fuck off. Go about your day, human. You petty human.
You petty human. Here's Billy Bob. Let's see. Did you see? And that's my buddy Elnora. Oop,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my God.
She's so sweet. Hi, shout out to Elnora. She used to work with me. She assisted and yeah, I was at the concert. I'm like, oh wait, I need a picture of you. He's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Evidence.
Very cool.
Oh, we know you're bullshitting.
So how long did you work like in the industry of like the film industry and like all that?
30 years. 30 years. Balls. I'm an old heifer.
I was just about to say there's no way because
Heidi, you look like you're 25.
I'm 50.
Fuck off.
I know.
50.
Ain't that funny? I know. I bring all these women on here. They're like, you're so baffled about their age.
Yeah.
like Chrissy, you're like, no way, she's 37. And then Heidi's over here saying she's 50, and she's like, no, you're 20.
No fucking way. I'm pretty sure I partied with you in college.
Yeah, straight up.
I probably did sneak out of cornfield at that time.
You look amazing.
Isn't she?
Heidi
looks absolutely beautiful.
This doesn't help. I know I'm on Zoom and it feels all blurred. It feels filtery, but yeah, I'm not shy of sharing my authentic self. So thank you.
Yeah.
That's just so
love
sweet.
that.
Thank you.
Love that.
Thank you. And like you said, yeah, it's my mom. It's my mom and dad. So thanks to them.
Yes. Yep. I always tell my mom, like on Mother's Day and like Father's Day, I always tell my mom and my dad, I'm like, Happy Mother's Day. You're welcome for making you a mother. Making you dad. Happy Father's Day. You're welcome.
Yes, that's it.
Your
Yeah.
mom didn't swallow you that night.
Nope, nope, nope. You know, she used to beat me quite a bit, but then once I was born, she put the wire hanger away, so we're fine. We're good.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, we love that movie. My sister and I watched that movie like, and then all the VC Andrew books.
Uh,
Those mothers. That should be a Mother's Day post. Happy Mother's Day even to the VC Andrew kids. That's a good series. Yeah, but I know. Yeah, yeah. It's the Wisconsin water.
It is.
It's being visited. I got the. Yeah,
Uh,
I
man.
had
I
a
just
good
want to
time
go
though,
scuba diving.
industry-wise.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead. Scuba diving? Yeah,
Well,
scuba diving, Lake Michigan.
I'd love to go scuba diving in Lake Michigan and like get to the bottom and
Whoa.
like the visibility in Lake Michigan, especially when you go a lot deeper, obviously the visibility sucks. But like I've always wondered, like, divers that go super deep in the ocean or, in a Lake Michigan like that. If there is something down there, can they telepathically communicate with you while you're in the water and, stuff like that? I mean, it's just, I feel like
Mhm.
anything is possible with extraterrestrials because they have so much technology and so much knowledge at their
Yeah,
disposal.
They do.
true.
Yeah, they actually
Absolutely.
there's a Stonehenge in Lake Michigan. They
Wow.
found mammoth carved into the rocks. So yeah, again, there's been civilization. That wasn't a lake once before. It must have been land because uh, I think Wisconsin was the last glacier in the United States to get
Yes.
shrunken up and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what the fuck? And then we have Rock Lake too that has these pyramids, 10 pyramids. And the first settlers that came here saw them popping out of the water and they're asking the Indians what they were. And they're saying that the stone teepees of the ancient ones that they didn't know much about because it's underwater. And like, yeah, there's just so much shit happening before the ice age. Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
True.
It's
Yep,
just
yep.
To be a
endless.
Yeah, my
fly on a
sister.
mammoth's ass during the ice age, to be that fly just sitting on a mammoth's butt, just riding along, like
Yeah.
watching the ice age happen.
Aren't they
uh,
still uncovering stuff? Is it
oh
Potawatomi?
yeah.
That's right by my sister. My sister's right
Hmm.
next to that. But they're still uncovering artifacts from
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's pretty
Oh
Hmm.
pretty
yeah. I
cool.
mean,
And the Vikings.
all over
Hmm.
the world, they discover new artifacts every day. I'm like, I can't wait. I'm waiting for the day when it's just like we discovered an artifact that will change the human race as we know it, just make our lives as a human race better, easier, or just in general have more clarity to like where we came from or like where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything.
it's true. It's like those ancient dildos they find. Like the stone ones or like the real.
Dildos.
You seen those?
No.
You mean mine? You mean mine?
Oh,
No.
stop it.
You don't have ancient ones,
Are
Heidi.
they made of
You
stone?
bought one the other day. That's
Bro.
good. No, they found these ancient stone and wooden ones that are very smooth, obviously. But yeah, again, they were. It's funny that even like sex toys back in ancient times were even like a thought. You know, it's
Well,
weird.
I
They know
mean,
what's up.
even back in even back in that day, it's like getting off is getting off, you know?
Yes.
Straight up.
Yes.
I mean, it's only animal nature, like not just human nature. It's animal nature to want to get off, spread your seed, and or not repopulate,
Sure,
multiply. You know,
sure.
Mhm.
But I like how they're very like carved in detail with like the head on it and stuff. Not like totally like simple enough, but it's
Yeah.
very funny that yeah.
so
So,
I'm looking at pictures of the 30,000-year-old history of the dildo,
oh damn, here we go.
and a lot. So some of them are very thick, some of them are very thin, some of them are very long. None of
Look
them are
at
very short, which is
that. Yeah, right.
right on ya, ancestors. One of them,
There's power in the nub.
One of them has the biggest shaft and the tiniest head I've ever seen in my life. And then, okay, this is so strange. So half of them are uncircumcised and the other half look like they're like not. And I
Yeah.
know like I don't know if you guys can see
Oh yeah,
those.
we can see it.
But
Oh yeah, look
yeah.
at that. Wow. See, I was telling you. Look at that. All different
There you
sizes and
go.
shapes. Like
Well,
today.
when it's on, it looks regular when it's fully. I'm just trying to watch my words. But if you got a turtleneck,
Turtleneck.
once it's there, it looks like the real spiel,
Well, yeah, once you pull the hood down, you can see what's, going on under
which
the
will go
hood.
when it's really big.
Yeah, so I had no idea until, and this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm even saying it. I had no
Let's hear it.
idea that penises go uncircumcised ever. I just assume that every man gets circumcised when they're born. Everyone.
Oh,
So
never
I'm
mind.
not a fan of it. I mean,
I lived in
I like
Costa
un.
Rica. You like the hood?
Yeah, because you can't tell when it's fully there. But
Yeah.
also, I don't like the process. Yeah, I'm that hippie woo chick. So my
I
son is
mean,
not, and my
That's
hubby.
I
a
mean, more power to you. I'm all about the hippie life. But like I lived in Costa Rica and I started seeing this guy in Costa. I lived there for 6 months. I went to massage therapy school there. Um and I started seeing this guy while I was there, and the first time I went down on him, like I whipped it out and I looked at it for a second. I kind of like and then I like grabbed it and started going down. I'm like, there it is.
oh damn.
But like it just took me by surprise because like it was just different than I'm used to. It wasn't bad by any means. Like my experience was great. Let's just say that. But it was just different to like see that, and I'm like, I had never seen an uncircumcised before.
Oh.
It just caught me off guard. But honestly, I don't think I would have a preference either way. Like if you got a love gun and you know how to fire it correctly, then
Straight up.
let's shoot some targets,
My big my big report card, or my laundry list of trials and errors of testing out a bunch. They're extra sensitive. So
That's what I've heard too, is if you still have your hood, then the tip is extra sensitive. And they say like most of
makes
the
your job
nerve
easier.
endings are at the
Makes the
tip
job
or like
easier.
right at the base of the tip.
You don't like sex, do you, Heidi? It's like 5 minutes later. Yes, we're done.
She doesn't like sex, she loves sex.
I know she loves sex. What are you talking about?
That's the youthful glow.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
That's why she looks 35.
She's a little bunny. That's awesome.
Well, that took a turn.
No, I
How
love
about those ETs? Do they have one? Do they cut?
Well,
yeah.
you've seen
Yeah.
ET, right? It's phone home.
Yeah, right. That's hilarious. Phone home. Man, I was gonna go with that. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what do you call a cheap circumcision? A rip off?
A rip off.
The joke. Dun, dun.
But
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, no, all right. We're all thinking about this uncircumcised cock now. I'm like,
can you imagine getting a circumcision like
like now?
later in life?
Yeah, fuck that.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what I mean. Like when it is fully where it's supposed to be, it's got the shape.
Sure.
I mean,
I know. I heard
you can't
too.
tell.
Use your
So-
microphone as like, reference.
So because you can't. There was a particular time that it was like the second or third time I was like, oh, because I didn't know in the very beginning because it was already right there. I was like, oh.
Well,
yeah,
my
tell the difference.
with my circumcised dick here. I'm just kidding. No,
Gonna
Yeah,
be
no,
like a
it's
bland pancake. I guarantee it. Watch.
Good circle back. That was awesome.
yeah. Uh, no, that's so funny. Well, on that note, when we round it up here, that was an hour and a half of talk there. It was dope.
Oh
Brogan, can
yeah,
we
man.
have you back? Just seriously, you bring so
Yes.
much energy and like this fun topics to talk about and just get into weird shit. That's what we like. And
For sure,
Heidi,
man.
Heidi,
Yeah.
thank you so much again for joining me today. And I love that you co-host with me and all these fun people that we get to chit chat with. And I'm glad to like how it all fell together today. It was just kind of like thrown up in the air and then it came down like this.
Yeah, man.
Everything
Things work
happens for
out
a
the way they're
reason.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Yes, always. And I loved your episode, Broken. So I'm happy I got to meet you because I loved
Thank
hearing
you.
your
Me too.
stories and
Yeah.
stuff.
So glad I
Thanks for
got to meet
sharing.
you as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we'll
I'll
play again.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Brogan, stay with me for 2 more
Yeah.
minutes.
Yep. I got you.